2019 NFL Draft is now officially open.
The 2019 NFL Draft had some significant talent, from Nick Bosa, Devin White, and even Deebo Samuel, just to name a few. But none were making headlines like some of the quarterbacks in this NFL Draft. 11 quarterbacks were taken in this draft and had everything from a Rookie of the Year to some major busts. And of the 11, 3 were taken in the first round, and many questions were asked.
He's an average-sized man playing a big man's game. True. It's as simple as that.
And each quarterback presented their own challenge they had to face. One of the most talked about things in this draft was Kyler Murray's size. And was he really committed to playing football? Well, following his Heisman winning campaign with Oklahoma, he took to Twitter and professed his commitment to football through this statement on Twitter, with no mention of the Oakland A's, who drafted him at number 8 overall that year. He said, "Moving forward, I am firmly and fully committing my life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback." And with the number 1 overall pick in that year's NFL draft,
Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma.
in his rookie season, he led the Cardinals to a 5-10 record and did win Rookie of the Year. 2021 was his best season yet. In the offseason, the Cardinals had acquired DeAndre Hopkins in one of the most one-sided trades of all time. I mean, it was like taking candy from a baby.
Let me do this again. DeAndre Hopkins in a 4 from Houston to Arizona for David Johnson, Ian, and a 2.
And I still don't know how the Texans thought that this was a good trade, because at the time, DeAndre Hopkins was a top 5 receiver in the NFL and was only getting better, and proved that when Kyler Murray led the Cardinals to an 11-6 record. Now, that was only good enough for a wild card spot, but the NFC West that year was stacked. And in the opening round of the playoffs, they would face the LA Rams for a 3rd time that year, and they did end up losing, but things were looking up for the Cardinals, or so they thought. Entering the 2022 season, rumors had come out about how Kyler Murray had joined FaZe, which is a Call of Duty group, and was staying up late playing Call of Duty and not studying the playbook like he should, and received a lot of slander. But it only got worse. In a primetime game in December versus the Patriots, Kyler tore his ACL, and needless to say, would be having a lot of downtime to play Call of Duty. And rehab, of course, too, but mostly Call of Duty. And although his career isn't over yet,
Despite what the Cards are saying, what is the trade market for Kyler Murray?
He's more valuable to the Cardinals than any other team out there.
I don't know. Kyler has a bit of a reputation problem, and I don't know how much of it is true or not. He doesn't deny much of it.
Then you've got to pick up the phone and see what kind of interest there is out there.
many people are already predicting the Cardinals to move on to their 17th quarterback in the past 10 years and are projected to take Caleb Williams at number 1 overall. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think the Cardinals are going to do with those picks. Now, the next quarterback taken in the 2019 NFL Draft was taken at number 6 overall to the Giants.
Daniel Jones, quarterback, Duke.
So they do love a quarterback.
Jones was one of the most interesting prospects coming out of Duke that year. Jones received a lot of backlash because he played at Duke and never really played anyone good.
He's not the 6th best college football player in the ACC. He's not a top 15 player in the SEC. He's not a top 5 player in the Big Ten.
But hell, he even drew some comparisons to playing like the Manning brothers. And the Giants seemed like a good landing spot for him. They had gotten their star running back the year before, and although they still had Eli Manning, he was on his way out and could mentor Jones. And by week 3, Jones got the nod and never looked back.
Greeny, I hate to say it, this is the best quarterback in New York.
Although it has taken some time for him to get his feet under him, Jones finally did and had his first winning season this past year, leading the Giants to a 9-7 record and showing that there may be some promise from the kid out of Duke. Now, the 3rd quarterback taken off of the board that year was Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State at number 15 overall to the Washington R-Words at the time. Many people projected him to not fall that far, but he landed in the Washington R-Words lap. At Ohio State, Haskins passed for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns and led the Buckeyes to a 2019 Rose Bowl victory and finished 3rd in the Heisman voting that year. In the NFL, Haskins saw his first action with the team in a Week 4 game against the New York Giants, in relief of Case Keenum, who had been benched for a poor performance. Haskins' first win, though, came as a starter in Week 12 against the Detroit Lions, where he finished with 156 passing yards, 28 rushing yards in the 19-16 victory. And in Week 16 against the Giants again, Haskins threw for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns before being carted off the field due to an ankle injury suffered on the first play of the 3rd quarter. But in 2020, Haskins was a new player. He had lost around 7% of body fat and was named named the starter and one of the team captains too. Now, although he did show a lot of promise, the season was filled with a lot of ups and downs, and eventually in week 16 was benched, and Haskins was released from the team a few days later, with head coach Ron Rivera saying he believed that it benefited both parties if they went their separate ways. Tragically, Haskins died as a direct result from injuries he sustained on April 9th, 2022, after he was struck by the driver of a dump truck while attempting to cross Interstate 595 near Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
On a busy stretch of highway in South Florida, a chilling call.
Advising a vehicle versus pedestrian. Pedestrian was walking on the highway.
That person turned out to be the Pittsburgh Steelers' 24-year-old quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, a former star at Ohio State University.
He was in Florida to train with several of his teammates. A toxicology report revealed later that Haskins had a blood alcohol level of 0.24 and had also tested positive for ketamine and other drugs in his system, but will forever be remembered for what he had done at Ohio State and what he had done in the NFL.
Yeah.
What you think, Ohio State?
This is awesome. Going to college here.
You going to college?
Now, although those three quarterbacks haven't shown too much hope throughout their careers, the rest of the quarterbacks provided to be reliable backups, but some have even showed off their great personalities, dance moves, and hell, even Gardner Minshew, who was taken in the 6th round, took the sports world by storm with his signature mustache and captivating the world in Minshew Mania. Although it didn't last long after the Jags took Lawrence the next year, his persona and even plays like this were never forgotten from that Uncle Rico looking dude.